Okay, so welcome once again to this edition, the quarterly edition of the LCI Lifestyle Champions International quarterly webinar. So it's so good to see you. For those of us who are used to this format, it used to be on a monthly basis, but now we do it quarterly, where we come to share some tips about how we can keep healthy. As you all know, Lifestyle Champions International's vision is to promote general wellness and health-related quality of life among individuals by educating them and encouraging them in the adoption of healthy lifestyle choices. So that's why we're here today. We want to support each other, encourage each other to make healthy lifestyle choices. And today we've got a very special guest with us who will be giving us some tips, Today we have with us Professor Yinka Goodman. She's a consultant public health physician. Welcome, Ma. It's so good to have you with us. And she will be talking to us about gardening and okay? How you can plant your way to wellness. So I know she'll be offering us some very practical tips on how we can do this. For those of you who have been thinking, oh, how do I plant my way to wellness? Well, you're in the very correct place, very right place. And she's here to tell us all about that this evening. So welcome, Professor Goodman. It's good to have you with us.
Good evening, everyone. Hello.
Good evening. So let me spotlight.
Can you hear me?
Yes, we can hear you loud and clear.
Okay.
So you are very welcome. Thank you so much for being here. And welcome to everyone also. I know people are joining us. Thank you. At the end, we will try to acknowledge you all. But for now, we've got just 1 hour, so let's get into it. Let's get started. Okay, so Ma, can you tell us a bit about yourself before I start asking you a few questions? Tell us a bit about yourself, what you do. Yes.
Okay, my name is Yinka Goodman. Sorry, just pardon me. I'm not a title kind of a person. My name is Yinka Goodman. I'm a medical doctor and I'm a consultant in community medicine and public health. Also, I lecture at the Lagos State University College of Medicine in Ikeja, Lagos, and I also work as a consultant at the Lagos State University Teaching Hospital. I don't know what's more to say about myself. I'm a doctor, that's what brings me here. I'm a wife, I'm a mother, I'm a daughter. I love people, I love health. I love goodness.
Okay.
I think that's much I can say.
Yeah, that's excellent. That's an excellent introduction starting point. I love your top. Purple is my favorite
Thank
color.
you.
So
Oh, that's great.
yeah. Okay, let's get started then. So, Professor Goodman, can you tell us how and why you first started gardening and where you got your seeds from?
Okay, where and how? In all honesty, I've tried to think about it. I don't even know. I think it just came to me as an issue of instinct. So I'll put it way back. I think basically is instinct. Growing up, we didn't have so many plants. We didn't have so many plants and things like that. But I just knew that anytime I got around plants, I felt more at ease, one, and I just had this natural pull towards plants. I think I should put it like that. And later on, at some point in time, I remember I didn't meet my grandmother. My grandmother passed on maternal. My maternal grandmother passed on even when my mom was still young, ever before she got married. But my mom always told me that our mother loved plants. So maybe, well, our own mother loved plants, but my mom was not particular. I've never seen her. She was never particular about plants anyway. So I think for me, it was just an issue of instinct. And I moved in that direction.
Hey, thank you so much. That's like you look like you got your love of plants and planting, from grandma. That's an amazing
Maybe, I think
legacy.
so.
Yeah, that should have left. So, but where did you get your first when you first started planting? Where did you get your first seeds from? Did you just go to the market? How do you go about it?
Okay, let me put it this way. So when I first started planting, even up till now, so maybe I take us back a little. People plant for many reasons. And because they plant for many reasons, wherever you get what you need from may differ. So one, people plant for just beauty. So we have ornamental plants. I will put it that way. Ornamental plants. These are just plants that probably beautify and things like that. Then we have food plants. So that is when we're talking about our vegetables, fruits, and the rest of it. And for any of this, we could translate them to economic terms or economic forms so we could make it for a source of income. So for me, when I started planting, I wasn't even thinking food. And even at this time, I've planted for quite some time. I just started thinking about food in recent times. I did it basically for ornamental reasons and all of that. So I would go back. So my very first plant was when I was in university. And at that time, I could have a room to myself. This was in 1995. Yeah, I think I was in 400 level at that time. So my plants, I can't even remember how I got it. Maybe I just saw it with somebody, but in my room, I had a plant. And I always had a plant in my room. Everywhere I have lived from that time till now, since 1995, I always had plants. So I just had it. If I see, maybe as we go on and I get more questions. So I always had plans. After I left school, I got married. I would go all out. I would buy plants and bring them to the house. I would buy and buy. In fact, in a particular year, in very recent time, the amount I spent buying plants, I'm talking about just ornamental plants. I'm talking about in just 1 year. It couldn't have been less than like 300,000, thereabouts. And that's not even much because I saw other people that spent as much as 800,000 and all of that. But now I don't do so much of buying anymore. What do I do? Because I've been planting just ornamental plants for long. So I have plant friends. So once I meet you, I love it because plants has become my point of connection, even with people. So because I do planting. I love plants. So if I see you and somebody just comes in, we connect just on plant reasons. So once I see that you love, we connect, and that way I collect plants from all of those people. So I don't even have to plant buy anymore. So it's like, oh, you have this. Once we talk, I say, oh, please, I love that plant. Can I kindly get some from you? The person would be willing to offer, and that's where I get my plants. So in the past 1.5 years, I haven't really bought plants. I just get them. But in the past 1.5 years that I'm talking about, into my house, I don't think I have brought anything less than 15 plants into my house. Is it even 15? I think it's more than 15, maybe about 20. But I have never had to buy, well, I bought one or two, but I haven't had to buy plants. I get them from other people.
That's very interesting. So you're sort of networking, isn't it? So
Yes,
now you're
yes, yes,
exchanging.
yes,
Someone might have
yes,
something that you have, someone might have some sort of
yes.
exchanging
You
there.
get
I
that,
like
yes.
that. I like that. Okay.
Mhm.
I don't know, maybe at the end you will show us some of your plans, but we'll get to
Yes,
the
I would. I'll be
questions first.
willing.
Okay, okay, that'll be good. All right, so let's move on. If you have questions, please pop them in the chat box and we'll take them at the end. So I know you've told us about, we have two broad categories of plants. You have the ornamental and you have the ones that are for food. But
Yes.
do you have a particular kind of plant or any particular kind of plants that you like to grow and why those ones in particular?
Okay. Well, I love the ornamental plants. So I give a kind of thing. One of the reasons why I just love gardening, especially the ornamental plants, because it just makes me, it relaxes me. I love nature. It's not just plants. Anything, once it's in the nature domain, I love it. I would love it. I love to be around water, waterfalls, anything. So when I get to maybe some of these hotels that have water just running down the stairs, all those kind of falls
Yeah.
that you create. I feel like sitting there and I don't want to go. I just feel like being there. As a matter of fact, I thought about it as a point. Do we do something like that, but not with this crazy NEPA tariff? So I know, okay, that would consume electricity for
Mm.
some reason. If you have to keep doing that and having those, or you just hear all those falls, I love it. And I do. So anything around nature, I love it. So for me, I think that's one of my major pull. And in a way, I think it's one of the things we can connect because there's a friend that my friend could never be bothered about plants or no plants. But every single time she came to my house, she told me she felt different.
Mm.
And one day I told her, after making that comment 3 times, I told her, I said, you don't know what the difference is. The difference is the plants. So for that reason, she started getting plants too. Though fine, she got the plants, but she never really could keep them because she never dedicated. So she comes there and she's like, I just love the pots. That's the best of what she can see. So
Okay.
it gives you that relaxation. I think that's it for me, and it changes your mood.
Mm. Mm.
Yeah,
Mm.
it improves your mood. Yeah.
That's really interesting you've said that because if we think of the six pillars, of lifestyle medicine, I think we've already ticked off quite a few of those. Okay, so we have healthy eating, we have restorative sleep. If you have plants around you, that will also encourage
Yeah.
restorative sleep, I think. We also have physical activity by planting and pottering around. That's part of exercise. We have stress, management that you have mentioned in there, the relaxation parts. But we also have social connections because you mentioned also that connecting with people who have plants as well and that sort of thing.
Yeah.
So that's already five,
Yeah.
out of the six, the six pillars of
Yeah.
lifestyle medicine. That's
Yeah.
amazing.
Yes.
Okay, I know you've talked to us about what's inspired you, but we'd like to hear a bit more. What now is your, and I know you talked about relaxation as well. What is your motivation that keeps you going, with planting, with your plants and gardening? What keeps you going? Because I know it's not, I mean, now it's becoming easy, but I know it's not always easy to plant, right? There's a lot of time
Okay.
and effort that goes into what keeps you going.
Okay, talking about the time and all of that, I remember at one time we had to change residence. And when we got to this particular residence and I started planting again, at this time, of course, my children were older, they were adults. So they felt um, they could do whatever they wanted. And every time they would look at me, their mom, just continue all this, your wala, just don't involve us, don't involve us, don't involve us. I didn't bother them. I just did it because I liked it.
Hmm.
But something started happening. People come to the house and they're like, oh, I love your house. Everywhere is looking so, I love the plants. I love it just makes you feel different.
Hmm.
So they loved and they enjoyed the comments. One. Two, at the time they were doing it, I remember around that time, around where we lived, there used to be a lot of traffic on the way because there was road construction and all of that. So I would have to leave the house very early. You
Hmm.
won't believe at that time. At this time, I just started planting, doing all the plants all over again. So I would wake up as early as like 4:30. I would ensure I wet my plants. I would ensure I do all of that. My daughter would not say anything at this time. She would hear me, but she would behave like she didn't see me. Then, I think at a particular point in time, my brother was not around. Then she would be gisting. She'll say, do you say what's more? Then she'll wake up early in the morning. Then she'll be dragging buckets. We don't have a help, just us four who live at home. That, she'll start waiting all the plants. Because at this time, the plants were still very tender. I would wake up early in the morning, I would wet them. When I come back in the evening, I would do the same and they will be laughing at me. But when people started giving them all of the comments, they were enjoying it. Now, my daughter has turned to a plant lover herself.
Oh, wow.
She's been converted. So,
That's amazing.
so she's turned to a plant lover herself. And she's like, oh, the plants. I said, so you see what it does. But I think the motivation for me at that time was I could only imagine how much I'd put into it.
Hmm.
And I felt connected to them. So I didn't want to lose those plants and all of that.
Mm,
So
mm,
it was a good motivation for me. It didn't matter. I had to wake up so early every day. They were tender, they were young, but I was still doing all of
mm,
that because I
mm.
didn't want to lose my, just like the popular saying, where your heart is, where your treasure is, there your heart will be. I spent money. I
Absolutely.
saw it as an investment. So
Yes.
I needed to ensure that it fulfilled what I had it for. So it
Yeah.
didn't mean anything too much for me. Yeah.
Yeah. You want to protect your investment, isn't it?
Yes, I needed to. I needed to. I needed
Yeah,
to.
that's
Mm,
great.
mm.
So talk to us about some of the challenges that you have faced then with your gardening and how you've been able to
Ah,
overcome them.
I love that question. Plenty challenges. Number one, even in saying it now, people see me, in fact, just today, somebody else came to the house, a colleague that lives near me, but for some reason, this reason, I'm so sorry, my week has been so busy. So I was thinking also, I couldn't even get to work today. So I just asked, I had some things in the office and I asked her to help me bring it. She came to the house. We got talking about plants again. I gave her, as she was going, I gave her like 3 plants. In fact, it's so funny because when people come to my house and I even think of it, I do not like people leaving my house without me giving them something. Of course, when I'm saying something now, I don't even mean anything too serious. Oh, maybe I just have some planting, maybe, just anything little that I want you to go with. But there are times I don't even have, and I just quickly make a pot of plants for you. And I'm like, oh, you could have this in your house. They're so grateful. And I love that. That's on that side. But challenges that I've faced, so many challenges come with planting. One is that if you want to garden, in all honesty, it takes time. You must be willing to dedicate your time to it. One, in terms of planting. Two, in terms of nurturing,
Mm,
because there is nothing. A plant is a living being, just like human being is a living thing.
mm,
So if you do not attend to it, it's going to die. But if you are just starting out, there are times that I have met people and because they're just starting out and we get to talk about plants, just look for the very easy, low maintenance plants. They would help you. We have some low maintenance plants, and those kind of plants, you don't have to wet them every day, just like the one you can see behind me. Those plants, all you need to do, just wet it once a month, and you're okay.
mm,
That's all you need to do. You're not thinking about it. So you could have that. So you need to dedicate time to it. That's one challenge. Then two is that there are times you love these plants, they look so beautiful. Now, these ones are even ornamental. Even when it is food crop, it is worse. So you could lose those plants. You are trying, but then you just don't know what happens,
mm,
especially when you're starting out with a particular plant that you've never dealt with. At times, you're not so sure, and you're asking yourself, does it need so much water? Does it not need enough? Does it? You don't really know where to place it. And many times, just because of what we have been taught, we believe that all plants, they need water it every day or water it 2 times. So at times we overwater the plants and then you
mm,
could lose the plants. That's a major challenge. I lost plants. I still do, even up till now. I still do. So you could lose the plants. Then another challenge is um like the colleague that came in today now asked me, oh, did you go for a special training in gardening or it's just this? I said it's just love. Who have never had to go for any training in it. So at times you're not just so sure. You don't really know what the plant wants and all of that in terms of lights, in terms of lightning. But I think in getting that, the rule of the thumb that I would tell anybody is if a plant is tender, you're just getting it, try as much as possible. Don't even expose it to so much light. If you
mm,
have anywhere under on a passage, just make sure you give it some shade. It
mm,
helps then. By the time it begins to grow, you'll really be sure of what it wants. At that time, you can decide, oh, it likes so much light, it doesn't like so much. At that time, it's better. Just don't expose because some plants, I had a plant. That was the one behind me before. We call it the cheese plant. Very lovely plants. But as usual, I didn't know. I felt I took it out just for one day and it burnt. You could actually say the plant got burnt.
oh, wow.
It had sunburn. So that also happens to some plants. So it's always better if you're just getting a plant and all of that, give it some shade whether it's even big or not, just give the plant some shade
Yeah.
for like 2 weeks, if possible, 2 months. Then you can
Mm.
begin to try anything you want to try with it. So that's one challenge. Well, I don't have the challenge of people stealing my plants, but most of the time when you plant in a place that is outside, because I have a woman close to me as well that does gardening, has majorly for food crops. At times you have passerby, they could take even without permission, and it appears like you are laboring for
Mm.
them. So, that can be discouraging. And that's why I've not done so much of, because I don't have so much space inside where we live.
Mm.
And for that reason, and I can't plant as much as I would have loved to, but not because I have anything against it. Things like vegetables, when I buy a lot of those vegetables. You would think I'm having a party the next day. So I feel of what use plant them little by little. I can't cook in very small quantities. So that hasn't been encouraging. But for other things, so I've planted things like the guava, it just started fruiting. I have that in my flower bed. I have the pawpaw. Those are the only two food crops that I have. Then, and saying that, one of the things you see, this has my name on it, is from a friend, and these are just seeds. If anybody is viewing, if you can view me, can we see what I'm
Yes,
displaying?
yes, you can see. Yeah.
So I have this as well that I ask other people. So a lot of things that are here, um they are food crops. So for this one, inside this, I have the tomato and the yellow bell pepper.
Okay.
Inside this one, I have parsley.
Mm.
I haven't planted them yet because I need the soil, and I've had a bit of trouble getting soil. That's why I haven't planted these ones. But for all of these ones, I would just plant in pots. I decided to plant this. They would make good for me because I don't need so much of it. Unlike when you're talking about my normal, whether it is ugu or vegetables, how much of yellow pepper do I need? Not so
Mm.
much, just something enough to eat. I'm okay with that. And tomatoes, not the one I would use to make soup, but at least I want to make salad in the evening. I need to put
Yeah.
in my egg, all of those little things. This can serve my purpose. So um, I have cucumber here. I have cucumber seeds in
Okay.
here as well. I have sweet basil. I have curry.
Mm.
I have celery. I have purple cabbage.
Wow.
I have lettuce. Okay, this parsley. So I have quite a number of them, and
Wow. Wow.
I'll get this planted, and I'm sure I will do a video of it, and I'll send it to the
Okay.
group
Okay. That would be
when
amazing.
it's planted. Yeah.
Okay. Right. Before we finish in this session, and then maybe you can show us around, but we also invite questions as well. I know you've mentioned a couple of things already about a first timer, someone who's coming to this new, things like low maintenance plants that will not need
Yes.
much watering, protect them from sunlight. But is there any message you'd like to tell or share with someone who is very new to this? They're a JJC. How do we, someone who has never gardened before, but they're curious to start? How would you tell them to go about this?
Okay. It's simple. One, get yourself some pots. I know for most of us, we like the fancy pots, but those pots are getting expensive now. But in all honesty, if you cannot afford them, they are no big deals. You don't have to look for them. Just get any pot, anything. In fact, in my house, we know the dispenser bottle. Okay, the normal, I don't know what we can see now. I'm trying to, okay, let me change I'm trying to change the view. I've not had to do that before. Okay, this normal dispenser bottle. Yes. So for me, what I did was I have so many of them that I wasn't using again, maybe about 20. I cut them open. Then I drilled holes
Mm.
beneath, under, maybe like 5 or 6, thereabouts. I fill the pots, and then I also have plantains inside those things. So we can always improvise. I'm just saying this for us not to be looking for anything necessarily fancy. And then when we can afford all of the fancy pots, we can begin to um, Look for those ones. So get yourself the pots, whatever container that you would use, get good soil. Well, if they are ornamental plants, well, some people like to market all those funny soils to us, but most of the soils, in all honesty, they can be somehow at times. Don't get soils. What they will say to you, most of them, they are just all these things they pack from the drainages and they will sell them.
Yeah.
But the ones in front of your house, you may just look for little humus or something, or we could get those ones from them and mix it up. And then we fill those containers. That's just good enough. And even if it's for there are places where they sell sand, which is what I'm saying. That is why I have not planted all of my sands, because that is what I'm waiting for, to get that sand. And
Mm.
I want the rains to come down a little, then I can order the sand so that I can plant those ones. So once we get them, the low maintenance plants, they are easy to find and they're not, well, at this point in time, this year, I haven't bought any of them, so I don't know how much they sell. But that last year, 2 years ago, they were selling for like 1,500, not anything so expensive. Even now, I'm sure whatever it is, it can't be more than 2,005. I'm not expecting it to be more than that. So we could just get that. But in all honesty, another thing we could do are tomatoes that we're eating. Just get little seeds from them. There are things that we can plant from tomatoes, the pawpaw that we buy, watermelon. We can do that, and even pepper. And once we get that, we're good to go.
Okay. Thank you so much, Professor Goodman. And I hope everyone has been paying attention. Thank you so much for being with us this evening. Professor Inka Goodman is here talking to us about gardening and you and how you can and how we can plant our way to wellness. And she's been talking to us about her love for plants, and she's been giving us also some tips for those people who are curious and want to start gardening. So some of her tips that she has given: start with low maintenance plants. You can get pots or dispensers, cut off the top, put some soil in it, and you're good to go. The seeds, you can just use seeds, from the food you eat at home, like take your seeds from your tomato,
Tomatoes,
from
yeah.
yeah, exactly. So there's so much.
Pawpaw, so much, so
Yeah.
much. Even the yam you eat at home, just that growing part, you could use that. They're very simple
Oh,
things.
okay.
Yeah.
So there you have it. There's so much we can do. And before we finish, actually, can you tell us, I know we talked earlier about the planting relaxes you, but can you tell us
Yeah.
about any benefits, the biggest benefits that planting has been to your own well-being?
To my well-being, sincerely, that relaxation is even number one for me, in all honesty. Once I enter my house, for all those long holidays we have, you won't believe, I don't step my gates. I'm just in the house and I'm feeling so relaxed because I
Mm.
have a plant. The inside I'm not talking about outdoor plants. Inside my house, I have nothing less than 17 plants there.
Well,
So lots of plants. And you'd feel if I step out on the corridor everywhere, I'm just saying plants, I'm saying plants. And then someone was asking, funny enough, I don't even sell them. But for some people, you could actually sell. You could sell those things
mm,
because we buy them anyway. So you could sell if you want to, but I would rather give people. I'm trying to encourage them. I could give you, so we can have that. But from what literature and other things say, it produces cleaner air for us because
mm,
when we have indoor plants, it also purifies our air. It
mm.
helps in filtering and purification of air, particularly, well, I don't want to disturb us with plenty names, but it could do that. Then it adds beauty, aesthetics, just to your view where you are, that kind of, just like when I was talking about my daughter, I've converted her right now in our own room alone. She has like 4 plants there.
Wow.
So
Wow.
she wants to, so you just see plants all around and the
Okay.
things that you enjoy. So it it improves your mood. And for me as well, I think not I think one of the benefits is being for me is that it gets me to that point where I can be inspired. to
Hmm.
do other things. Just look at times, I'm just looking at the plants and then I'm having a lot of inspiration on things to do or things that can be done. I'm talking for myself, it inspires me.
Hmm.
I get my
Okay.
inspiration when I'm in that mood. Yeah.
Okay. Great. All right. So we've got some questions and comments that have been coming through.
Okay.
So let's go to the chat box now. Modupe Adesanya says this topic touched my soft spot and a mixed feeling for me. Can I share a bit of my story, planting garden story? Oh yes, please. So if you want to take yourself off mute, we can give you a couple of minutes to also share with us. Where are you?
Yeah, I'm here. Good
Okay.
Okay.
evening, everyone.
Yes,
Good
good evening.
evening.
Good evening.
Ah, you see, you are taking me back memory lane, and what I'm just trying to recover myself. Okay, I fell in love with plants when I entered the university. I lived with my cousin. My cousin at that time was in her 50s. I'm the first grandchild of my grandparents, and I happen to be the last. You can imagine. It's like open and close brackets. And she had lots of flowers in her house, a beautiful garden. And that was my first contact with flowers. I lived in Lagos where everywhere is blocked. So I fell in love with flowers. When I moved to the campus, first year I didn't have good accommodation, but after that, I remember my third year, I had 35 pots of flowers. And people were wondering, is he a student that is living here? Or I will spend all my money buying plants. So when I got married, initial house, no space. The second house, I tried, but I couldn't do much. When we now had our own house, built our own house, I had one plot of land just for flower garden. And I love it so much. When people came visiting, they don't want to go inside. They don't want to know. It was a mansion. I'm sorry to say, I'm not boasting, but I'm trying to say this. As beautiful as the house was, nobody wanted to go inside. People just wanted to stay in the garden. My husband is a busy workaholic person, but any free moment on a Saturday, he will just pick a book to read, go into the garden. I put a swing in the garden, and it was such an ambience. My God, I used to love it. And what did that do to me? Naturally, I'm a very aggressive person. I want things done sharp, sharp. But immediately I come back to my house, I get, there is this feeling I will be just calm.
Hmm.
I'll be calm. But unfortunately, we had a driver that drove us out of the house because he stole my car and blah, blah, started threatening us. We have to leave the house. And we moved into a house that is like a quarter of where we lived before. And to drive out of my house, yeah, I used to scratch my car anyhow because I was not used to that space. But guess what? No space in that house. There's a small garden in front. I tried, and some people spoiled the garden. But 2 days ago, that's why I said mixed feelings and back to myself. I just created one small space in that house, in this house that I'm living at now, that I'm going to start my gardening again. It's very small.
Wow,
And
that's
all the
amazing.
I'm, no matter how small, I'm starting again. And if you see the
Mhm.
excitement in me that I'm starting gardening again,
That's
and
wonderful, ma.
my husband just looked at me and said, you are getting yourself again. I said, wow, somebody stole myself from me for 13 years
But
because
now you're regaining it back. That's
now
wonderful.
I'm gaining
Yeah.
it back.
Thank you so much, Ma, for sharing with us. We really, really appreciate that. Thank you so much. All right. So we're hearing, of course, some real life experiences. So we know that, this is not just one person that is doing this. Anyone can do this. Okay, so I'll read a few more of the comments here. Professor Sonny says, this is so encouraging. Thank you, Dr. Goodman. I so much love my garden, especially in a world with so much pollution around us. This cannot be overemphasized. To enjoy fresh air around us, this has to be encouraged in our homes and communities. Thank you so much for affirming that. Oluwatun Adedewe, this was an interesting and motivation session. Thank you, and well done, Dr. Yinka. Thank you. All right, let's see. We've got a question here. And I know it's dark now, but there's a question. Can we see a picture of the plants in your garden? I don't know if that is possible at the moment. Maybe not. I don't know.
Okay, let me talk to that. Not, I was hoping this would, but my day was very busy. So even in the evening, I still got out a bit. I'm like, let me take some pictures because by the time you would want to view, it would be at night. But wait, let me see what I can do if this light will come on and if we can see. I don't have a garden like that. I have so many things inside pots.
Okay.
So I don't have a big garden like that. But I have a number of pots that we may be able to see. Let me see. I just have everything in. Hold on, come. I would have to go
Okay.
out.
So
Coming. Hold on.
our speaker is trying to show us
Okay.
some pictures. Oh,
So
okay.
can you see this? This is just in my living room. You can see
Okay.
this even to the point of I have this plant here. So I believe we can see that.
Yeah, we can see that.
You can see these lots here. I have about another 4 of these outside that I put. All these ones, they're just in the living room. So we have that one there. I have some 2 there. This very long away. You can see this pots here. I'm coming. Let me. I don't have a light on this corridor. Let me see. Oh. Oh. Ah,
It's quite
it's
dark,
pretty.
isn't it? Yeah,
Yes,
it's
it's
quite
quite
dark.
dark. It's
Yeah,
quite dark.
yeah. We understand. No problem.
Okay,
No
yes.
problem.
So I'm
No
so sorry
problem.
about that. We may
No
not be able
problem.
to
Okay. We have
see the end.
another question for you. Maybe you want to go, as I going back inside, and we have some under hand raised. Mr. Simeon, we'll come back to you shortly. There's a question about where can we get the plant seeds mentioned?
Okay, the plant seed for the crop one. This one personally, my friend, because she's the one so interested in all of this, she has big space where she can plant in her compound. So when she's just telling me, she mentions, I'll give her money. I'll say, please help me buy. I'll help you buy. But I could give us that those links. I would ask, there are different WhatsApp groups that people belong to.
Yeah.
Because I was never really exactly the guava and the pawpaw. I planted them from those seeds of what I ate, and I planted those ones personally. But for these other seeds, I didn't purchase it by myself. I just gave my friend money, but I can give us the link. I would ask her to send it, and there are things we can always ask around. We would get. There are people that sell them.
Okay. All right. So Professor Goodman will share a link with Dr. Ori, who will also circulate that to
Yes,
her.
please. I
Yeah.
would.
Okay. There's a question here about can we have the 6 pillars of healthy so let me I'll put that in the chat box. These are the 6 pillars of lifestyle medicine. Oh, 1 second. Okay. I'll put that in the chat box now. The 6 pillars
Okay.
of healthy lifestyle. It's a healthy eating, physical activity, restorative sleep, stress management, social connections, minimization of harmful substances like tobacco, excessive alcohol, things like that. And you'll see that the gardening that we've been talking about ticks at least 5 of those boxes.
Okay.
So, okay. We have another question. Before we go to this question in the chat box, can we have the question from Mr. Simon Olanikbekun? You raise your hands. Please, you can unmute yourself and ask your question.
Good evening, everyone.
Good evening, sir.
Good evening, sir.
Yes, I've enjoyed the lecture tonight. I'm actually beside my garden at home.
Nice.
As I listen to the lecture,
Okay.
the garden where we use for the gardening has been reduced recently because my wife put a gazebo in front of the house where people can see. So we have a small garden. I want to ask, do you know that there's some plants that cannot go together? Like sometime towards the end of last year, we tried to plant some tomatoes and the bell pepper, and they didn't do well. So we started with a small one again this time around. So we have tomato that is, yes, really fruiting, and this evening we pluck enough that is more than what we use for a pot of soup. There is bell pepper, and there is the other pepper which they call rodo in the place. In this small garden in front of the house, we have plantain. There is two has even brought out. From time to time, we have enjoyed good plantain from it. We have pineapples, we have bitter leaf, we have the saint leaf, we have um, a guava tree in this garden. But what we have not done is having the plant inside the sitting room and the house. And recently, my wife have just bought some flower from which in pots. And we're still expecting some pots that are put in strategic place in the compound. Maybe we try to put some in the sitting room. But the question is that there are some plants that should not go together, because when we plant tomato this time around, the person who works in a farm said that we have to cut down the pawpaw that we planted, that there are an insect that is attracted by the pawpaw that will affect the tomato. So that is what we did. So we prefer to have the tomato uh, about how many? About maybe 18. We bought them as seedlings, and they're really producing enough. So I just want to ask that question. Do you know that there are some plants that cannot go together, that if they are together in one environment, it can affect each other? That pawpaw, for example, attracts some insects and fly that will affect the
Other plans.
heads
All right.
of the tomato.
Thank you so much, sir. Thank you so much. So over to you. Are there any plants that we should not plant together?
Well, I think this is getting deeper than I've thought. The man that's just talked now is a farmer. Me, I'm just doing something for hobby. So, I rightly said that I haven't been doing so much of crop. And even if I'm going to do, I'm sure that you can see all this, my plants. I'll just be planting them in small, small plots, not in very large quantities. So even peradventure, if that would happen, I'm not likely to notice because they will be in different spaces. Moreover, I won't have so much of them, so the effect may not be significant for me to have noticed, but that is very possible. That's very possible, I know.
Okay. All
Because you
right.
know that even in the market, they say that people that sell tomato must not sell onion, something funny. So all those things, they are possible, but like I said, I'm not a farmer. I'm just doing pure ornamental and little things, just spices I can take at the back of my kitchen to add to my food.
Okay.
That's all I'm doing. Thank you.
All right. So I think for those who want to go deeper into, to the farming, you might have to do a bit more research, to answer some of those questions. All right. And someone, Mama who spoke earlier has also said we need to be careful. Some indoor plants are poisonous and should not be in a house with children. We have a question here. It says, this is awesome. Much appreciated, Ma. In my compound, I have flowers, coconut tree, various types of vegetables, yam, pawpaw, plantain, banana. Oh, you've done a grand job already. But she's asking, please, what else can I plant?
Plenty things.
Plenty things.
You can plant beans of is as much as your space can take. You could do things like ewedu, ugu. There's nothing a person cannot do as long as your strength can match it. You understand? Even at times when other people are trying to encourage me, come and do, I'll say, I don't have that energy. By the time I go to work from morning, come back at night, I personally, we don't have that space. And then I don't even have the energy, in all honesty. So it's just something little that I want to do. And then I go away, just enough. I come back from work. I want to take salad, or I can get it there. I'm not necessarily thinking of going to Malam to be buying every time. So even when I plant this, it's not something I want to harvest for a whole community. Just that's why I said I will do this little ones. The tomatoes, it can't feed me for a whole year, but just, okay, I want to fry egg, I have tomato to use. I want to make salad, I have tomato to use. Or we want to make just one small, we can get something that's or because I don't have the land space. Moreover, I don't even have the energy to do all of that.
It
Yeah.
really does encourage healthy eating because,
Yeah.
we've been told that we need to incorporate vegetables, and fruit into our meals. That needs to be a quarter of your plate. And so you're not worried that, suddenly have to go and buy something. It's right there in your backyard, right? You
Yeah.
just pick,
Yes.
vegetable, like spinach, whatever it is, to put on your plate, so it's easy to, that helps us, to ensure that we are meeting our daily requirements for
Yes.
vegetables, isn't it? Yeah. Okay, let's see. Are there any more questions? Okay, no more questions at the moment. But if you have any more questions for Professor
Sorry, I think
Goodman.
I asked the question. Oh, sorry. Oh, sorry. I'm supposed to put up my hand. I didn't see where to put up my hand.
Oh, okay, please go ahead.
Yeah. Anyway, you don't remember me. That's fine. And I just wanted to ask about, I don't know if it was asked because I kind of went out of I got kicked out. Maybe to show us a picture, the plants. I don't know if you're able to do that. It's how
Oh,
you.
yes. Oh, sorry. Is this
Yes.
you asked, is that Dr. Safia, right?
Yes.
Yes, yes, yes. She did go out to show us, but it was dark, so we couldn't do
Oh,
much.
and there's no
Yeah,
picture of it.
yeah, but no,
Um,
I think she can share pictures with us later, maybe.
And on
Yes,
a
I'll
personal
send
note,
you.
congratulations on your professorship. I've not seen you since then. It's been like 15 years or so, or 20. That's by the way.
Oh, interesting. So,
Never. All right. Remind me. Let me just add it here. Okay.
okay.
So, congrats. It's nice. And we'll probably inbox each other much later. I know you, yeah, you're just wondering. Don't worry. It's one of those things. Can you hear me? Yeah. Thank you so much. I really appreciate your lecture, and you made us learn a whole new set of things, and we're really grateful. Thank you so much. Yeah.
All right. Thank you,
You're
Dr.
welcome. Thank you,
Sophia.
sir.
Thank you. Okay.
Thank you.
All right. Thank you, Professor Goodman. I love your passion and hobby. All right.
Yes, thank you.
Any more questions? We want to finish at 9 p.m. Nigeria time and UK time where I am. But if you've got any more questions, please raise your hands or pop them in the chat box. I want to leave. I don't know, is Ore, are you still here? Dr. Ore, are you? I was hoping she can give us some closing remarks, but I think she may have had to drop off. Okay, I can't see her at the moment. All right, so any more questions before we round up? We've been talking about garden and you. and the things that novice gardeners like us can do, to get going. I actually have a garden in my backyard. I just moved into this property last year, and our owners had quite a nice garden. But it's been so hard to maintain it because I've been so busy and everything. But what I'm hearing today is also encouraging me to say, okay, apart from what's in my garden at the back, I can do some things in the house as well, make so that when people come in, they feel relaxed. And I think, that's something that all of us can do. Start with some indoor plants, that are low maintenance. And, we can start from that and create, that ambience, for us, but also for those who come to visit us, that will make people to feel quite relaxed. So I'm taking that as a challenge and encouragement today. And I hope that those of us here too will do the same. Okay. Any more questions, comments, please? The house has grown a bit quiet. Okay. So maybe, Professor Goodman, maybe any last, words for us?
Okay, I want to say thanks for having me, one. And I want to say this is something that is really very feasible, is something we can do. Let's take up the challenge. And I'm sure you see me later and you thank me. Thank you for
All
listening.
right. Thank you so much, Professor Goodman. It's been so good, so lovely to have you here with us. Thank you for talking us through what we can do and the benefits of planting. And like I highlighted earlier, actually, it ticks off so many of those boxes, for us in terms of the things that the lifestyle medicine pillars. Healthy eating, check. All the vegetables, fruits, the healthy food you need to put on your plate. That's, you can do that with gardening. Physical activity, you can go out there, plant, weed, a lot of those things. That also is part of calorie burning. We have restorative sleep. I can imagine that if you have all these plants around you, it will help you to sleep better. Also, stress management. She has talked a lot about relaxation, one of the biggest benefits for her. So that ticks that box. But also social connections. I'm hoping that through this, you might be able to make connections with someone else who has a plant there. Well, at least you've made one connection today. Professor Goodman,
Yeah,
So
yeah.
if you need a plant, I'm sure she'll be quite happy, to set you up. So it ticks so many boxes for us. Thank you so much for coming to share with us. And thank you to everyone who has been here with us as well. Let me see if I can try to recognize as many people as possible. Okay. Mrs. Mary Apata Adewusi Tolulokpe. I'm sorry, I don't have your title, so I might just mention your names. Please pardon me. Mama Modupe Adesanya, we heard you earlier. Thank you for sharing with us. Ojeride Grace Adewusi Tolulokpe. Oluwatoyin Adedewo, that's my sister. Professor Sunny, oh, my sister-in-law is here as well. Dr. Mojibola Owolabi, Shoyemi Damilare, Dr. Clement, Giwa Babatunde Akanbi, Magdalene, Ralph Elliott. Pardon me again if I'm not giving you your correct title, Juliana Atoye. Folashade Olatunji Koforola Odushote, you're welcome. Oh, my auntie is here, Auntie Jemima Ehimeye, you're welcome. And there's a full gospel here as well. I'm not sure who that is. You're welcome. Thank you for being here. Ludaisi Oduniyi Tishe Wuraola. The few Galaxy. I don't know who you are. The phones. Thank you for being here. Johnson Olanigi, Dr. Safia, thank you for your comments earlier. Ikawuru Jebin, I
Thank
think,
you.
all right. Olamide Olawatuyi Ifeyemi, oh, that's my friend. I didn't know, Dr. I didn't know, welcome. Lucy Obayuwana, Moti, Rahamat, Sada, Dr. Ijoma Dozie, Grace Eseyi, Bisoye Robinson, Fumi, what, Professor Wale Kukoya, welcome, sir. Amaige, Wosu, Oluyomi. Okay. Thank you so much, everyone. I hope I caught everybody's name. I hope I caught everybody's name. I hope I did. And I'm sorry again if I've not addressed you in the correct way. Okay, thank you so much, Maz and Saz, for being here. Madesoya. Thank you for being here. Okay, mommy, yana mama. All right, thank you so much. I'll stop the recording.